Hey everyone! For the month of August this year, 2020, our themes are water and nurturing. And in this video, we are going to share with you some of the gratitude practices that we've cultivated over the years. So Sophie and I are just going to take turns kind of sharing with you what we have adopted into our day-to-day life. So the first one that I wanted to share with you actually has a prop. It's this little bowl that I got in a store in Chinatown. And there's a few influences for this practice that I do. So in Filipino culture, there is a tradition of honoring your ancestors, and different people do it in different ways. Some folks have an ancestor altar with like photos and food. Other people do it through their prayers. So shortly after my mom passed, I was working at this place called Gaia Girls. Part of the programming, it was like an after-school program, we would gather together and all have a potluck dinner. And we would pass around a little bowl or a little something and put a little bit of our food, because they wanted to kind of like share this idea of we're feeding the ancestors who then feed us. So around that time, I kind of merged those two influences and created my own little practice that I've brought with me throughout my travels and back into my sister's home. Most of the meals, or as many meals as we can remember, we pass around our little bowl and we each put in something. And when I'm on my own, sometimes I will sit in front of my ancestor altar and just say a few words or just say a little prayer in my mind. But what has kind of happened, which is kind of fun, around, we live with like a big family and we have a lot of apprentices around, so it's always a big table, is we just kind of pass it around, and sometimes organically my little nieces will start saying something that they're grateful for. My first gratitude practice is one which I feel has kind of become more popular over the last couple of years, and that is keeping a gratitude journal. And I tend to write in my journal as the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning. Before I interact with anyone else, I take a couple of minutes to reflect on 3 things that I'm grateful for that day. And usually it's quite interesting. It tends to be things that are related to a struggle that I'm going through, or something that actively kind of combats negative thoughts or just my lack of appreciation in other aspects. I've been doing this practice for probably the last year, and I really enjoy incorporating this into my morning routine because it really sets the tone for the day and kind of already shifts your brain into a mindset of abundance and of positivity before you've even stepped out of bed, in my case. The second practice that I wanted to share with you all is something that I do when I go out into natural places, like if I go on a hike or if I go swimming in a lake or a river. I've always loved nature and being outside, and part of that I think is because there's a spiritual component to me. I often feel like a mixture of awe and fright, and also beauty and comfort. Like I just walk that line for some reason. That's the best way I can describe it. I don't know if that really makes sense. But whenever I'm out in these places, I remember that like even the fact of being out there is kind of taking from that place. Every step that I take is probably disrupting something, particularly if I stray off trail. I've made a habit of, as I leave a place, I'll offer a bit of gratitude. So the way that I'll do that is I'll even say something out loud. I'll be like, thank you for letting me pass, or thank you for letting me be here. Or if I have water left in my water bottle, I'll pour a little bit of my water out just as an offering to this place for letting me be there. And sometimes what I've done is I take a little strand of my hair and I'll just pull it out and tie it around a tree branch or something, because all of that will eventually be recycled back and can be used by the place that I'm in. So similar to Natasha, my second gratitude practice is kind of giving thanks to my surrounding and giving thanks to all the living things that I come into contact with. And this is something that I've actually kind of naturally adopted, or has been passed down to me through my mum. I remember from a very young age when we'd walk through a park or just even through the streets wherever there are trees, and especially whenever it was sunny and really hot, my mum would kind of just give a word of thanks out loud to the trees and be like, thank you so much for giving us your shade, and you know, kind of blessing it and also acknowledging its presence and how long it's been on the earth, and its wisdom that it has witnessed, and the years that it has witnessed, and the wisdom that it holds, even being a
a non-verbal living being. That's something I try to incorporate with everything from trees to also humans as well. So I try to do this in many different ways, but at least once a day, to try and just reach out to someone who is important in my life, who's meaningful, and whose relationship I appreciate, and just to let them know that I appreciate them and that I don't take them for granted. And so sometimes that will be a phone call, sometimes that'll be a text, a letter, a face-to-face interaction. Expressing gratitude is such a seemingly simple thing to do, but it's a very transformative and powerful practice. There are so many studies that have been conducted in terms of how practicing gratitude can help with depression, with anxiety, with stress. It can improve your physical health. It can increase happiness. I remember reading recently a study that gratitude can increase happiness by 25%. I don't know how they measured that happiness, but there you have it. It can also even help you have a good night's sleep. You can get better quality sleep, make you more resilient to stressful situations, to situations that don't go according to plan, or, you know, don't have your desired outcome. And I think overall it just improves your quality of life, it changes your outlook on life, and shifts your mindset to a place of abundance and of fulfillment rather than scarcity and fear. To end, I just wanted to share a quote from a famous Roman orator, and that is Cicero. It's someone whom I have a love-hate relationship with. We've been through a lot of Cicero from year 9 GCSE all the way through my university degree, and I can't stand him, but he does have wisdom sometimes, so I'm going to share this little nugget, and that is: gratitude is not only the highest of virtues, but it is the parent virtue to all other virtues. And I really like that phrase and that quotation, or very succinct quotation for Cicero if you know his work, but anyway, it's another story. But that quotation for me is a reminder that gratitude is really the foundation of any good, healthy relationship with yourself, with others, with the world, and is really the starting point to nurture all those other kind of virtues, such as patience, kindness, humility, resilience, generosity. It all is rooted in being grateful for where you are, how far you've travelled, who you are, and whom you surround yourself with. And yeah, with that being said, I just want to take a minute to say that we're really grateful for all of you who support Winter's Bloom and everything that we've been doing so far, and who get involved in all the many different ways that you do, and that without you guys this would be a much shorter conversation, and just it wouldn't be as engaging without hearing all your voices. So Natasha and I are really grateful for you guys. And yeah, I think that's a good place to end. I hope you guys have a lovely day, evening, morning, whenever you watch this, and sending you guys lots of love and positivity. See you in the next one. Bye!